Oh my god, but you guys did hi. Like, what? I missed you. Did you miss me? Oh my god. Hi. Cheers moment. Oh, where's my mouth? Deathbed Confessions. A soul's journey. Let's break it down. But first, y'all, dude, I was like legit under the weather, so thank you for your patience. I wasn't really able to even talk without coughing. It was a moment. Yeah, so LA area, lots of fires, lots of smoke, all kinds of stuff. And still kind of like going on. PS, in case you can tell, I'm a little like snarfinated. But I've been wanting to do this episode and I'm so excited, and we're gonna, I've broken some of this down before. We're gonna continue to like keep breaking that shit down. But the deathbed chronicles, right? Like Deathbed Confessions. This is one of my favorite things to consider if I am faced with maybe like a sticky decision, or I love bringing this concept into the work that I do with my clients for emotional health, um, because it can really clear stuff up. Okay. Now, many of us have heard of, like you like, at the end of the day, you'll regret the things that you didn't do as opposed to the things that you did do most often or more often than not. Have we heard this? Okay. So this is very related, right? These kind of like the deathbed confessions excuse me, related to that kind of notion. And so we're gonna let's do a little playtime. Let's have some fun. So is there something that you've been wanting to do? Or is there a decision you're faced with currently that you maybe haven't pulled the trigger or made the decision, or had the follow through with like right action? Yeah. Um, Here's my invitation. Take a moment, like wherever you are, and if you're driving, this is not the time and space and place, all right? So save it for later. But if you're watching this and you're like, can take the moment to safely maybe close your eyes, sit up nice and tall, or however you might be able to be in your own body, with your spine being as straight as it possibly can for you, and the brain stem and the back of the neck being as long as it possibly can for you, and the breath to be as long and deep as it possibly can for you, with the eyes closed if that's available, and the eyes rolled up towards that third eye point right in between the eyebrows. Just breathe long and deep in and out of the nose if that's available. If a mouth breath is available to you, only rockin'. So just being here for a moment and just notice the stillness that can happen from just being in this posture alone. And what I mean by stillness, it doesn't necessarily mean like that the mind quiets. Because we've talked about this before, and I'll continue to talk about it. Meditation, especially in kind of like the beginning years of meditation, it's not about a quiet mind, meaning like no thought at all. It's about being able to be with what gets unpacked from the subconscious mind when you are still. Okay? Which is noisy. The Akashic Records is also known as the subconscious mind. And, the length of the sheer magnitude of the Akashic Records is just like, it's pretty unimaginable, right? It's infinite thoughts, infinite ideas, infinite streams of consciousness, all available to you. And the idea is when you're meditating, and we'll tie this into this kind of deathbed confession piece, the idea when you're meditating isn't necessarily to quiet all of that. It's just to kind of like, okay, number one, can I just be with it? no matter how weird, how loud, how distracting, how whatever kind of unpacks itself when I'm still, right? That's the muscle that we're flexing, especially in those early years of meditation. Can I just be with it? Can I just hold the pose regardless? Okay. And then from there, it's like, okay, now can I navigate the landscape and grab onto the highest and best thought form, my most beneficial thought form available to me. Okay? All right, can we have a cheers moment? All right, and so when you're in that space where the spine is nice and tall and long, and maybe you opened your eyes to listen, or maybe your eyes are still closed and you're breathing long and deep, and the spine is straight. What, wherever you are, however you are, imagine for a moment, if it's a match for you, that you're on your deathbed and you're witnessing your life, your most recent lifetime flashing before your eyes. And this is before you leave your body and before your past life review. After you leave your body, what's the regret? What's the missed opportunity that's sticking out to you? And maybe it is the decision that you're faced with right now that you haven't maybe pulled the trigger on, and maybe you're going to get some clarity around that. Or maybe it's something like super random that you haven't thought about ever before or haven't thought about in a long time. But I often visit this kind of deathbed confession moment when I'm faced with a decision. And I've gotten really good at I used to say I don't care what people think of me, but that's really not true. I do care. And I've transitioned that from I don't care to it's okay. What people think about me and how people feel about me is okay. It's okay how other people feel and think about me. It's okay. It's okay if that's awesome. It's okay if it's not awesome. And yes, P.S., I am feeling things about my hair. Are you feeling things about my hair? This is my actual hair. And this is what it's actually doing, and it's okay. It's okay that this is what my hair is actually doing, okay? It's like, it's having its own moment. It's having its own cheers moment. So hopefully, that was a big one that kind of like came through for me more recently in the deathbed confession moment when faced with reaching a broader audience, taking center stage on a larger stage. The bigger you get, the more pressurized it is, right? More money, more problems, shit. And so I have previously had this attitude like, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. And it just wasn't true. Like, I was giving so much of a fuck. And that transition, as I visited that deathbed moment of like, how can I care more? That was there for me in this particular instance, was like, no, I do care. And how can I care more? How can I communicate that I care as much as I actually care? And it was, the message that came through, the clarity that came through as kind of like, I guess, this affirmation piece was like, it's okay. However people thinking feel about me is okay. It's okay if they don't like it. It's okay if they do like it. It's okay. It's okay to care. It's okay to care. It's okay to care. Okay. So that was a more personal kind of like deathbed moment. But I'll have clients that come to me asking, what's my path, what's my purpose, or they're in. I'll use this for an example because it's often a topic that comes up in session work with my clients is relationships, in particular romantic relationships. And a lot of my spiritual teachers don't really like see this the way I see it, and that's okay. It's okay. Where there's a lot of old school practices around marriage, or that commitment is kind of like the real yoga. Like, how can you hold the pose of marriage. And I definitely agree with that to an extent. But I don't agree with that to an extent if it's obvious that a contract has run its course, if there's a relationship that's unhealthy. And I'm not suggesting that some of these teachers that I have are saying to stay in unhealthy relationships. I just have found that I like to be a little bit more proactive. And if something's clear, then it's clear, and let's take action. Which can seem a little bit different in comparison. But we ain't got time for comparison shit. All right, so you're in a relationship potentially, and it's not it. For whatever reason, it's just not it. You're not your best version of you, which is really like the foundational piece in any relationship that has gone south. You know, what's your relationship like with you? So we take that question, what's your relationship like with you within the dynamic of this relationship, take it to the fucking deathbed. You're on your deathbed. Did you do your best? Were you your best version in the relationship that you had with yourself? Did you stand up for yourself? Did you speak up for yourself? Were you passionate? Did you take risks? Or did you play it safe and play it small because you were afraid about other people judging you, or being abandoned or rejected, or whatever the case is, okay? So for my my invitation for all of us in this moment, while we're watching this video or right after or whatever, is go to that deathbed confessional moment and ask yourself about your relationship that you have with you. Are you being as big and as bold as you came here to be? Or are you hesitating because you are afraid of rejection or judgment or ridicule or abandonment or whatever, whatever the case is, right? Now, this is where I personally would previously be like, I don't give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. It's okay. It's okay to not want to be ridiculed. It's okay to not want to be judged. It's okay to not want to be abandoned. Okay? But when you're playing it small and you're not living your most passionate life, your deathbed confession is going to let you know that at the end of the day, you were the one who was abandoning you. You were judging you. You were the one who was ridiculing you. And if that is a point of focus that gets focused on long enough energy where the focus goes, the energy flows, then you're just going to prove your own point, because the universe is a natural medium which follows your cue, right? You are the game maker, you are the artist molding the clay. And so therefore, if you're holding these false beliefs where it's like, okay, if I really like allow myself to unleash, because I judge myself, others are going to judge me. And you're just going to prove yourself fucking right. So instead of the defense of like, well, I don't give a fuck what other people think, I don't give a fuck. It's okay to care. It's okay. But it's not okay to limit yourself. You can care and then move on. Yes, I care about these things, but at the end of the day, I care more about living my most fulfilled and passionate life, regardless of how other people think and feel about me, because at the end of the day, it's not my job. How other people think and feel is not my job. It's not my business. It's not mine. Okay? How I think and feel about me, that's my job. That's my job. So Deathbed Confessions is really going to let you know if you're living your most passionate fucking life, because if you're not, that's what's going to come up most in your past life review after you leave your body. Okay, that soul's journey. You came here with a mission, and now that mission might not be 100% clear throughout the entirety of this incarnation. But what is clear is that if you can get to that deathbed, thank you, Frank, confessional moment through that meditative space, like, okay, well, fuck, what am I going to regret? And chances are you're going to regret not giving it your all, whatever your all might look like. So here's my invitation. Let's give it our all, regardless, and care. Open your heart. Be fucking passionate. And yeah, you know what? People might not like it. Do you know how extra I am in life? I am very extra in life. I am passionate. I am wild. I dance. I sing. I say weird stuff. I say awesome stuff. I do all kinds of things because I am passionate about this life. I'm not wanting to waste time. I'm not wanting to waste an incarnation. And if people are judging, it's part of the game. Do I care? Yeah, but I'm not going to care enough to kind of like invert it and stop me in my fucking tracks from being a passionate, loving, expressive fucking person, because that's part of why I am here. And if you're watching this, it's part of why you're here too. Okay, so Deathbed Confessions. I would love to like pop it in the fucking chat, leave a comment. I want to hear it. Let's support each other, living our most wonderful, extra fucking passionate lives. Go take some risks, go get weird, go get wild, you know, keep yourself safe. I mean, like, you know, don't be doing the most, right? But do the most from the fucking heart, okay? That's what it's all about, because when we're having our actual deathbed confession moment and then our past life review after we leave this body, after we have this incarnation, those are the first things that are going to be popping up, like, well, you kind of missed the boat on that, so next time around it's going to be more intense. Okay, cheers. All right, y'all, thank you for your patience. I know it was a couple of weeks since I posted, but we are back on track. Loving you all so fucking much. Okay, bitch squad, please believe. Fuck yeah, Satnam Blessed be.